He's fighting back. They're right above us, folks, and I don't like it a damn bit. Oh, my God. Look out. Oh, man! The God Almighty! The God Almighty! They killed him! Oh, my God. As God is my witness, he is broken in half!
Hello there, guys, and welcome to the Backstage Brawl Podcast. My name is CurtyFM, and joining us today we have Bad Jokes FM.
Hello, guys.
We have Cautious Paul.
Hello.
And we have a guest today, CurtyFM.
Hello, how's it going?
It's doing all good. Yeah, Hell in a Cell happened. I know originally we said this is going to be weekly, but yeah, it's not worked out that way. Never mind. We'll go with it for every sort of pay-per-view. I think that's probably the best way to go with it. Unless something major happens, then we can all jump on and talk about it.
It works out bi-weekly with WWE anyway.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
There's a pay-per-view every bloody week.
Yes, so let's just jump into Hell in a Cell. As a whole, what do you guys think of it? How do you think of it rating out of 10?
Out of 10, I'd give it a solid 6.5, something like that. I'd say not awful, but not the best pay-per-view I've ever seen. Start and end brilliant, but other than that, the middle was a little meh.
Yeah, I agree. I'm a 6. I'm a 6 out of it. I'm exactly the same. Start and end, memorable, which I think is always a good thing. The middle, no. So.
Yeah, I mean, I'm probably slightly above average as well. I'll sit with a 6 as well, for basically the same reasons. The two it's called Hell in a Cell. The two Hell in a Cell matches were very good. There was a lot of nonsense in between those two, but yeah, no real complaints really.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, I guess we all agree then. I'll sort of sit around 6.5 sort of myself there. I think as a whole, it was a decent pay-per-view. Certainly the first and last match were incredible. We'll go into that in more detail. So we're not going to go into the pre-show because pre-show. So I think we'll start with the tag match. Simply unbelievable, I thought. I mean,
What a match!
Fantastic. They've great chemistry.
I mean, I didn't think they'd be able to battle some of their last stuff, but they were so innovative in the Hell in the Cell. They were doing stuff with the kendo sticks, and that spot where they had one of the Usos kind of trapped in the corner.
Yeah,
that was really
brilliant.
good.
That's what I liked about this match. It was that they actually used the cell. There's Hell in a Cell matches where you could think they didn't even need the cell, but at least this had relevance. There were so many spots that the cell was utilised, and it felt like they were enclosed in it, especially with Kofi having no influence on the outside at all either.
That was interesting though for me, wasn't it? Like you'd think Kofi would be amazing in this kind of match. I don't understand why he was the one to sit out.
He's not really a brawler though, is he?
He's not a brawler, but like in terms of using what's the sort of equipment that's given to him, he's amazing. And maybe they were worried that he'd take too much shine off of it, and that might take sort of something away from the main event. I'm not sure, but
I've got a booking thought on that, but we'll need to go through the other matches first.
Cautious Paul's been thinking.
Kofi not being used very much, but it was very interesting. I did like the interaction the Usos were giving Kofi on the outside. There was a lot of shouting backwards and forwards, and it was just really well worked, I thought, in that aspect. So from the start, we had the New Day sort of half promo at the beginning, which just sort of pre-warned how serious they were taking it. It was not a normal New Day promo at the beginning. It was all as it goes, because, and he stopped it and then went, no, this is,
I've always liked with the New Day that they'll sell importance of things. They sell the importance of the cell. When it was Bray Wyatt, Woods is the only one that sold him as being a real spooky dude that's really got them.
Oh yeah, the trance thing, wasn't it?
Yeah, they were completely like trying to pull him back from that. The New Day's always had these little things where they've just nuances that they've picked up on that's really good. So yeah, it made sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was just brilliantly brutal as well, wasn't it? It felt really violent.
Yeah.
Even when they were pulling out the stupid stuff at the beginning of the trombone under the ring and sort of the cymbal and stuff like that. But once they sort of got the kendo sticks involved, It just felt
a
really
lot more violent than anything there's been in quite a while.
Yeah.
In WWE, it was just, and you knew from the start, as soon as like you guys were saying about Big E's promo, you knew it was going to be something serious, it was going to be something special, and it just was. There's just so many awesome spots, like even just that bit at the beginning with the old cross bodies where they just kept going into the cell and whatnot.
Yeah.
Oh, the one where Big E took the electric chair. God.
That's the one I'm on about. Yeah.
Oh, that was brutal.
Some really good false finishes in there as well.
Yeah.
Like when the Usos hit the
Doubles.
sort of one at a time, but a double big splash, and it was broken up. And I think there was sort of 2 or 3 really, really good false finishes in there where I thought, oh well, that's over, and that's what an awesome match that was. But actually, it carried on.
Yeah.
I even thought Big E was going to win it off doing the big end. I had a feeling, no, you can't win it off that, surely. But so. Just perfect. I can't fault the match in any way.
No, it was great. There were just so many memorable spots. Like even just here in my notes, I've got the spot where both the New Day were locked up with the handcuffs. That was really good.
I loved Woods' storytelling there as well. Like it's, when he's come back in, he's handcuffed and they're beating him with the kendo sticks, and he just kind of almost hulks up and then just headbutts one of them and then goes at the other one. It's just he's actually really good at that. And I'm glad you referred back to the sort of the Bray Wyatt stuff, because he was one of the best things about that entire feud, the whole build up to that, and then when he kind of let go of it at the end, and him at the end of this match. It was really, really good, really, really fun.
Yeah. What I did is I made a load of notes as I tend to do, and I sort of try and do it in chronological order, and I keep trying to pick the right moments in this one. Did you guys see the thrown chair spot? I love a good thrown chair.
Yeah.
I can't help but laugh at those. I don't know why they make me laugh so much.
Yeah, that was a cracking spot. That was right in the corner. Just he's going up top. That was brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that just shows sort of the desperation of both teams just to sort of do anything to stop each other, which just also told the story just so well. That they're just so desperate to beat each other, they will just get and throw anything they can.
It was kendo mania. It was ridiculous. So many kendo sticks.
Yeah, that is literally one of the notes I've got. Many kendo sticks.
Oh, and
but it didn't feel like they wasted any of it, did they?
No.
Sometimes you're going, oh, he's brilliant, he's got a kendo stick, but actually this was phenomenal, and just kind of the lashings that they were giving, like that part where Xavier was hanging off the end of the ring post, and they're just they're like lashing him.
Some of them are brutal, those shots. Did you guys, Xavier Woods put a video on Instagram or Twitter afterwards showing the marks on him. Some of them are brutal. Yeah. It just looks, it's awful. But I mean, he basically just gets the BDSM treatment where he's just getting whacked and whacked and whacked over and over again. Poor bastard. And then afterwards, when I don't know how Big E got
lucky
out.
bastard, depending on what you want.
Depending on your reference. How did Big E get uncuffed? I didn't see how that happened. Because he was cuffed. I'm sure he was cuffed at one stage.
Either missed it or it snapped when he, like the kendo stick kind of.
Because the ref went over to Big E and stayed with him whilst Xavier Woods was getting twatted with kendo sticks. And then when Big E gets up and he grabs the kendo stick or he just shoves it out of the way. Livid Big E is awesome. Big E. I've never seen him like that.
No, that Big E could be awesome. I've got in my notes again. Big E in that mood could be world champ in that mood. I think.
Definitely. The intense Big E is just brilliant. And then we have a super kick party afterwards.
Yeah.
Everyone loves a super kick party.
Everyone does. And then because this hasn't been done in order, I'll just sort of list off the last few bits. So we got the Big E's livid. And then we have the super kick party, and then we spoke about Xavier Woods sort of rallying, he broke up a pin.
Yeah, just dived.
That was brilliant. And then gets up and then gets twatted to fuck with kendo sticks whilst, hulking up, so to say. Headbutts one, goes after the other one, smashing him, and then he takes probably the most ridiculous kendo shot I've ever seen. I can't name which Uso it was, I'm sorry, but the one that gets up after he's been beaten up by Xavier Woods, grabs a kendo stick and just full whack in the stomach.
Yeah.
Oh, God. And then, yeah, chair on the body, splash, it was over. It was... I can't... Forgive me if there's anything you guys can say that may have worked a bit better or not, but for me, it was pretty much perfect.
Yeah, can't think of anything else. Can't think of anything else really. The way the match worked out, even if you did have Kofi in there, I don't think it would have made it any better than what it was. I think you almost needed Xavier in there for that spot where he was almost.
That might
hulking
be
up.
it. Thinking about it, that might be sort of part of the thing where
Yeah, 'cause
Kofi's like, I ain't
Kofi couldn't
taking
have
that sort
done
of
that.
spot. I ain't taking that.
Yeah,
Plus, I think it's good that Woods gets a bit stronger booking because it's always kind of looked on that Kofi and Big E are the better two. So kind of,
You kind of forget
even though he took the
sometimes-
fall as well, did he? So
You kind of forget sometimes that Woods can really go.
Yeah, he
Oh,
can hold
yeah.
his own. Yeah, big time.
Yeah.
he can.
So with the end of the match, Usos won. Just even the way the Usos celebrated just made it, because I kind of thought they'd go a bit like, oh, okay, you know, not even like a shake of hands, like sort of a nod of, okay, yeah, that's it. But no, dickish, walk away.
yeah,
We are the badass heels. Go fuck yourselves.
yeah, which is great. Which is great. It really sells them as still the arseholes they are, and
Oh,
just whoever
definitely,
whoever does take the belts off them is gonna look.
Who's it going to be?
awesome now? Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Who else is there on SmackDown in the tag division who could take it off them? Unless they call.
Stars?
So it's like, God no.
I think
Fussell-
Gable
Fussell,
and
please.
Benjamin could give them a good
I was
match.
going to say Gable
yeah,
and
fair
Benjamin are
enough.
probably
Yeah,
possibly
it could be them.
obvious contenders.
And then if Breeze on go if they really wanted to because they're popular enough, but it's,
Busy
I
with
mean,
the
that's-
Ascension though, aren't they?
I know, exactly.
Phrase. So after the tag match, which was perfect, we have Rusev Orton.
Which was not perfect.
No. I get the feeling that we're going to spend more time talking about what the fuck has happened to Rusev, what the fuck's happened to Orton, than the actual match itself.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
'cause
I mean, the match was perfectly serviceable.
Yeah.
It's that very
No one
professional,
cared.
smooth
no.
kind of match, but yeah, there's no. I only have one note, and that's Rusev. Rusev equals Wyatt, and that's all I've put because
Yeah.
he's just exactly the same. He doesn't win the big ones. You just expect him to lose, and he did.
Yeah.
It's,
Yeah.
There was just no drama, was there? There was no drama. Like, at no point did you think Rusev was going to win. Like, he didn't even get the accolade on at any point in the match.
No.
And
No.
you just think,
What have they
create
done
a
to
bit
him?
of drama. You know, it's
Yeah.
just so like Randy is just. I was sort of shouting myself, please retire, like in my own
Yeah.
living room, because he needs something. Like, he's had the same character for I don't know how many
He
years.
needs a
now.
heel turn is what he needs.
Well,
He
yeah,
does.
but he needs a heel turn with something because he's been the same character as a heel before, and I
I
just
suppose.
like his music's not changed for God knows how long, and he just needs a refresh.
Maybe a new legacy or something.
I don't know. I just don't know what you could do with him to make. I'm not invested in him
He's
at
just
all. I know
vanilla.
he
You
does
know,
have a
it's
fan
just-
base, but
Very.
The best
can't get
Orton's
excited.
been for a while was when he was with Wyatt initially, and it
Yeah.
went on a bit longer than everybody expected, and like the Royal Rumble and stuff. It was like, and then the turn happened, and then it fell on its backside. But at least it was a bit different, with kind of heel at that point. But yeah, I agree.
Bray
with
Wyatt
you.
was getting a rub through it
was-
as well.
it was.
Yeah.
But there was no surprise when it happened. that-
Exactly that.
You know,
Yeah.
because you knew it was coming. It was always coming. You know, it was kind of like when Daniel Bryan was with the Whites. You knew that was never going to last. I mean,
Yeah.
admittedly, that lasted a lot less time than Randy's did. But
Yeah, but the
don't
pop
know.
from that was incredible, though.
When
Oh,
Brian
oh,
turned.
Daniel-
Yeah.
in the steel cage.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
that was.
It's
oh.
apparently I don't know where it was, but apparently that's a notoriously quiet city. And
Well,
it's
wasn't
not
that
like a
night?
Chicago or Philadelphia or something like that. It was a quiet city, And damn, they blew the roof off it with that. But okay, Daniel Bryan, separate subject.
I think maybe it would have made, given the sort of the stuff on SmackDown the week before, I think it would have made sense if Aiden English was in Rusev's corner.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would. Yeah, that would. I know we're not talking about the pre-show, but on the pre-show he come out and he was singing about Rusev. So why not? Why not just have him there? Why not? And also like we were saying a little bit before we started recording, why have they explained why Lana isn't there with him anymore? And they're both on SmackDown, so why are they not together? Maybe give Lana a little bit of a stable or something, gets her over, gives Rusev a little bit of something to do.
Yeah.
I miss Rusev coming out to the ring in a tank levels of Rusev. I miss that Rusev. That Rusev was awesome. Bastard, and I loved that.
Yeah.
I was at that WrestleMania, by the way.
What?
Yeah.
Wow.
That was absolutely superb, and it was funny because even though obviously it's in the States, the amount of people around me that were all chanting for Rusev and no one was chanting for Cena, But yeah, that was superb.
Was that Rusev's first loss as well?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. It was his first defeat. Yeah.
Oh dear.
Yeah. Can you just imagine what would happen if they could just give Rusev the win that night? How big he'd be now.
I mean, he's got all the tools, hasn't he? That's the thing.
Yeah.
He was really believable as that monster.
Yeah.
And even subsequently, they've started to build him up, and then he's got into a feud and just lost the feud. And the comparisons with Bray Wyatt make absolute sense because he's a man who is there to put people over, and that's it. And it's a shame.
He could have been
Rusev Day.
He could have been a believable face. Even, and I know but I think he could play because he's charismatic. He's a very
he's really
funny guy.
Yeah.
And I think if they played a whole Lana storyline, him getting demoralised, maybe losing matches, and then coming back and just running roughshod over people, and he might have saved the day for a big name face at some point. People want to support this guy. People want Rusev to do well, even though he's a heel. But
definitely
he's just not getting the chances.
Does anyone else here watch Total Divas?
I have done
I've watched some of it, yeah.
He is hilarious on Total Divas.
Oh.
See when he's been on Up, Down, Down and stuff with Xavier Woods, he's hilarious.
They're starting to let him a little bit of character out at the moment with the whole Rusev Day thing. It's like he did a promo backstage about being in tent because he's wearing a hoodie and things like that. It's just silly, but I quite like that. He's allowed to smile, and it's great.
Yeah.
He just needs a storyline.
Yeah.
Yeah. Isn't shit.
Exactly.
But I think at this point with Randy Orton, whoever Orton's against, it brings it down a bit. Do you know what I mean? It's
a break. I think thinking about
it's tough. It's tough because he's a legend. He's an absolute legend. He's a legend. He's been around a long time. He's still got a good following. People are still invested in him. I don't know how, but people are still invested in him. It's just for sort of, I guess, kind of smarky people like us. He's just nothing for me. He's the piss break match for me at the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think oh, sorry.
No, go on.
The thing, the RKO's the worst bit about him because it's so damn good. When it hits, everybody pops, and because of that, they wheel him out, and he'll do it all the blooming time, and you just kind of get rid of him.
Well, ever since the meme, really, isn't it? And then WWE finally got caught on to the meme, and then there you go.
Well, that's it. They caught on to something at the right time for a change.
Vintage Orton.
I know.
Out of nowhere.
Yeah. So, yeah, Orton wins, obvious. Rusev. My thoughts on the match are, Rusev needs to win. No one cares about Orton, which is true. Yeah. Because there's nothing else you can really say.
Nope.
So we'll move on, and we've got the segment which was shown in the pre-show where Ty Dillinger is entered into the US title match, and they have Ty Dillinger and Daniel Bryan having a 10/yes off. And
that's so cheesy, wasn't it?
Daniel Bryan's becoming a parody of Daniel Bryan now.
Yeah.
And it's just
he's got to be counting down.
He's counting down.
He's counting down the days, isn't he, Daniel Bryan? Surely. It'll be in Ring of Honor or somewhere like that.
Yeah, this time next year it'll be somewhere else.
He'll be recording it on
Japan.
Tout or something.
As soon as I saw that Dillinger had been put into the match, I just thought to myself, he's the patsy here.
Yeah.
He's taking the fall here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Still
sure
keeps
enough-
AJ strong, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, for me, AJ's got to be moving back into the main event scene now.
Hopefully.
Because at the moment, the WWE title means nothing.
Nope.
So it makes sense to put it. I don't like Corbin particularly, but I think it makes sense to take the belt off AJ here.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they've got to give him something after screwing up the Money in the Bank stuff. So just give him this for a few months. Have someone else take it off him. It doesn't hurt anybody. Gives Corbin a bit of a rub for a couple months.
No, I agree. It's good for Baron. The win is good for Baron, which is why I called it. I even called it. And I'm quite happy about
you
that
did.
one. I know,
Yeah.
I called it.
How do we feel about Corbin's new music, by the way?
I quite like it. I didn't think I would, but see, the thing is his original theme. I like the dun dun dun. I like that bit, but then it goes into some sort of weird thing, which is I didn't like. I liked it up until it starts going into some sort of weird sort of slidey guitar bit. It sounds awesome, but since that, I kind of like it. Sort of a bit sort of mid 2000s Seether style, new metalish esque type thing. I kind of like it. I suppose it's not new metal, really, is it? It's more. I don't know what it is. Thinking about it.
It's just a bit dreary. I much preferred his old stuff, to be honest, his old entrance.
That's fair enough. Each to their own, I suppose.
Exactly.
So yes, the rundown of the US title match. My first line is AJ is over as fuck. Baron is a prick. I don't get Ty Dillinger, which is true. I just don't really get Ty Dillinger. Never.
When
really
they
have.
When they announced them, actually, it was funny because Ty Dillinger didn't get any ovation at all.
Yeah, he went for the 10 and just nobody reacted.
Yeah, and his face.
So
did you see
confused.
his face? He was like, "What is going on here?"
What's going? What have I done?
Because it's the Ryback thing of being having a chant that's over but not the person. Yes.
Yeah, because Ty is okay, but I just don't. I never even saw it in NXT what the fuss was about him,
Yeah.
so I just don't see it now.
I just didn't like that weird sort of vest thing he wore that looked like it was made out of a bit of plastic.
Yeah.
Really weird. When he came out in the Rumble with a 10 on the back, it looked so fucking made. But yeah, look, don't get me wrong, Ty Dillinger, perfectly good wrestler, and he's borderline vet. He's been going for years. And fair play to him. He's found a thing that works, and he's got on the main roster with it. Fair play. He put on I think he did alright, but just vanilla. You know what I mean?
Very.
Yes. But one thing I do want to point out is Greg Hamilton's, the announcer's title intros. I love those. The way that he announces announces the competitors for the match. I love that. They don't do that. I don't think they do that on Raw. Forgive me if they do.
No.
I don't remember. But the way that they just announce it, it makes it feel like a big fight.
When he says, "Oh, the following contest is scheduled for one fall."
One fall.
Oh,
That got stole. I'm sure that was a UK thing before. And that
yeah,
was
it was.
Yeah. And
Well,
then,
I know it was in NXT as well.
Yeah.
But mate, I'm glad some of that stuff's leaking through to the main roster.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's the beauty of NXT, isn't it? It feels quite what's the word? Feels quite intimate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that's difficult to replicate with the big arenas that they have. But I quite like a lot of the SmackDown lighting, where a lot of it's part of it's dark now, and maybe that's to sort of so the cameras can't pick up that there's loads of empty seats.
There
But
was
I
a
quite
lot of empty seats, by the way.
yeah,
last night.
I like the fact that it just feels a little bit more intimate, and part of that is like you say, is the announcer. It's just coming over from NXT.
Yeah, I just like the build of it. It just makes it sound bigger than it actually is, to be pretty honest. So yeah, I mean, we'll go through the match bit by bit on this one. So I do like how it started. So you had AJ and Ty look at each other, and then Baron goes, "No, go on, you two go," and they go, "Oh no," and then go after Baron and chase him. I quite like that. That's quite a nice start. And then it sort of turns into a sort of normal triple threat match where one guy is sort of recovering in the corner and the other two fight.
Yeah.
I guess I'm a bit 50-50 on triple threats. It can just get a bit, okay then, because you can't have 3-person spots. It's just odd. I don't know. Yeah, well, I'm looking at my notes. Hang on 1 second. We got.
It's all right.
Yeah. All I've got early on for this match is the old chant early of "Where's your briefcase?" I quite like that.
Yeah.
That was quite humorous. Yeah, I like that.
I'm not a particular fan of Corbin. I think why is he still not shaved his hair off?
Yeah,
like the man's got to accept it at some point soon. It's something that we all have to go through. I'm sure at some point, and it's just I just don't understand why he's still rocking that look.
You got to keep the hair wet.
It's not helping him.
Oh yeah, can you imagine being slapped with that wet hair as well?
6 strands of it.
Only other thing I've got early on is AJ Styles has still got the best drop kick in the business. I think his drop kick where he just pops up out of nowhere, just brilliant. I think
It's just. I said this before. He's so smooth. It's unbelievable.
He is.
He's just brilliant.
He was on a different level, wasn't he? Like throughout the match. And, I love the calf crusher as well. That's
the roll into it,
so
the lead into it. It just works.
Really, really good.
And the way he actually pulls but he's twisting the ankle. It
actually looks really painful, doesn't it?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I do love AJ's 450 as well.
Yeah,
that's just springboard 450. Because logically that shouldn't happen.
But then there's a lot of things Styles does that logically shouldn't happen.
Yeah.
But it'd be interesting. I mean, I assume he's going to have a rematch.
He said on Talking Smack he's going to have it on Tuesday night.
Okay.
That's overdone with quick.
He also made reference to something else that happens later on as well in that, but we'll discuss that at the end. But so I think I think they're going to move him on. I can see him losing that rematch, and he's going to be into something else. Which will be
that's good because it doesn't need this is the United States title. I mean, I'm glad that they've put it on him to elevate it.
Yeah.
But he doesn't need to be in and amongst it now. He needs to be back in the main event scene.
Yeah, because the main event scene is dying on its arse. If it's halfway through the show, the title match is halfway through a show, then it's kind of dying on its arse.
Yeah.
Okay, so I mean, apart from a good deep six, I do love a good deep six. Deep six is a good move. I'm sorry.
Great move. I love the deep six. It's a really, really good move.
Yeah.
He's got that, and obviously End of Days is a good finisher, I think. But the deep six for me, that's
Yeah, when he hits it on light people as well, where he can really throw them. Yeah. Oh God.
Well, it's a bit like the Sami Zayn's Blue Thundered Bomb. Yeah. I think that's a great move. And I do think they should let him win with that every now and again. So you actually think that he can win with it. Do you know what I mean? Because I don't think he's ever won a match using the Blue Thunder Bomb.
Or just let him win at all.
Yeah, that would be nice.
We will come on to Sami Zayn later.
Yes, we will. Yes, we will. Can't wait.
So just sort of run down towards the end of the match. Really, you got AJ hits phenomenal forearm on Ty Dillinger. Corbin runs in, kicks AJ, and then kicks him harder. That second kick was disgusting.
That was it. He landed right in his head.
Yeah,
it was perfect, wasn't it? It was perfect for Baron because it's a proper dick move to win like that.
Yeah,
and he is a bit of a dick, so it fits in perfectly with his character.
Seriously, Corbin's character description is one word. It's just dick. You don't need anything else.
Basically.
There was one thing about Corbin that was bugging me, and I don't know if you guys noticed this, and because he's not the only one that does this, but when he's away to kick out, because his eyes. He's like looking at the ref even though he's on the floor.
Oh, I didn't spot that.
No,
I spot it all the time. There's some guys now where I've only noticed it in the last couple of years. They seem to look up. You can just see their eyes looking, and he's away to kick out. Every even on really false finishes.
Yeah.
And it was driving me mad because it was just blatant with him. You could just see him kind of looking up, even though he's meant to be down and out. It's like,
Great Khali used to count. I don't know if you've seen it in one.
Right?
There's a video of Great Khali counting when he's being
Brilliant.
That's even what these things drive me insane.
I mean, even a great technician like the Great Khali is counting on kicking.
I mean, he's Bret Hart levels, I think.
Yeah.
Bret Hart wishes he was Khali.
Bret Hart's got Great Khali posters on his wall.
Yes, indeed. So, as an overall, the match was a pretty good match. Solid match.
Yeah,
Corbin,
not bad.
I think Corbin really needs the win. He needs the belt, certainly for a little while anyway.
Yeah.
And Ty will just sort of fade off into obscurity, and AJ will hopefully move up. That's the plan. I figure, anyway. So we move on to the women's title match, Charlotte versus Natty.
Yeah, pretty good match. Could have done with a little bit longer, but I enjoyed it. They was telling a pretty good story.
Oh yeah, good bit of ring psychology with the whole selling of the injury and stuff.
Oh yeah.
Well, mostly anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree with you. Like, I think it should have gone a bit longer. I feel like the disqualification at the point it happened didn't make sense. I feel like if it had gone a bit longer with Natty getting more and more frustrated, it would have made more sense. But in terms of the actual ring work, I thought it was great. I thought it's sort of reminiscent of when Charlotte won the title off Nikki Bella, where Nikki Bella was focusing on Charlotte's leg and the whole story around could she get the figure eight on and all that kind of stuff. Obviously this was more towards Natty putting the sharpshooter on, but I thought actually the in-ring storytelling was really good. I just felt like it could have gone a bit longer. That was all.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know where it goes from here though. Does Charlotte sort of fade back a bit and then Becky comes in to try and win it, or is this just sort of the end of the feud, or does it start, or does it sort of continue?
I think it continues.
I think
Yeah.
it continues. Yeah.
I think it continues. Rematch at Survivor Series or whatever, and then Charlotte wins it there.
It won't. The feud won't finish on a screwy finish like that.
Nah.
There's no way.
That's fair enough then. Honestly, there isn't really much to talk about with that match. It didn't go on for very long.
I would like to say I love the way Natalia puts the sharpshooter on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's like just the way she locks it in at the top. Bret Hart's my all-time favourite.
Okay.
I really like the way Natalia puts the sharpshooter on. Just a little observation that I wanted to throw.
No, it's fair. No, I haven't really noticed it, to be really honest.
She does it better than The Rock anyway.
Loose.
Not hard.
Okay. Oh yeah, we got Charlotte's moonsault that Paul hated as well. Paul hates the moonsault, don't you? You hate that.
I do. I hate it. She lands on her. I hate it. I'm not a big Charlotte fan, and the one good thing that match did was actually get me a bit of sympathy for Charlotte, which I've always just think, oh, you're just a heel. You really should. You just come across that way. And last night, it's like you started to get a bit more sympathy for her. So the match worked in that regard, and they could build on that moving forward. But I'm not a fan. I'm not a big fan of her, to be honest. But
She is a heel, isn't she? She's just such a great heel.
she is. She's
and
natural heel.
And I understand. I understand with the whole Ric Flair stuff of late. I understand her bringing his stuff to the fore. I've got no problem with her giving the woos and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I don't like seeing her do the walk.
Oh no.
I think that just makes me cringe.
Yeah.
But yeah,
That's the thing. Is Charlotte over, or is it Ric Flair over?
well, exactly. It's not her thing, and I liked it when she kind of distanced herself from him.
Yes, she did at the
because she's a
start.
great performer in her own right.
Yes,
She's
she
really,
is.
really good.
Yeah.
I lean towards Paul with the moonsault thing because I think in the air it looks great, but on landing it looks terrible.
Looks her. Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, for me, she's a heel, and I don't buy into her as a face at all.
The series show with Sasha Banks, I thought was really good.
Yeah, I mean, I know they hot potatoed the title.
Oh yeah,
a
apart
lot.
from that bit, but the actual matches
Yeah.
themselves are great.
Yeah, the one thing that they screwed up with Charlotte was when she lost to Bayley on the pay-per-view before WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Oh, that was
Like-
huge.
on that end of the pay-per-view street, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what happened
Why?
there, but
Yeah.
Charlotte as a heel, fantastic. Charlotte as a
Yeah.
face, still good in ring, but I can't buy into it.
I think it's a general WWE thing just now. They really struggle to book faces.
They do.
Don't know how to book a face in a mid-card or upper mid-card role to actually just be a face. They seem to really struggle with it. A heel, fine. They can book heels all day long. They can book people to be arseholes, but they kind of get them to be liked. So it's a strange
I mean,
one.
who is a good face at the moment? Think about it.
Like in baby face terms,
Yeah.
it's quite
right now.
Well, AJ Styles.
But AJ Styles is AJ Styles.
You got AJ, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. It's probably off his own doing, to be honest.
I can't even think of it.
I mean, certainly on SmackDown, I'm struggling.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just trying to go through my
Jesus.
notes and can't think of anybody.
Because anybody in the book is a nice face or somebody that they try and make you want to like Jason Jordan, for example. They try and you end up completely hating him because it's like, oh, this is terrible, and it's cringeworthy. And
It's
they
the die Rocky die treatment, isn't it?
It is, yeah, like I said last time, it's the old Rocky Maivia-esque
Yeah.
promo he had.
I don't ever want to think about that again. That promo was disgusting. Anyway, Fashion Files.
Anyway.
Fashion Files.
Oh,
Yes, the fashion
Hey,
Pulp fashion, baby.
best part of the whole show.
Oh my god. Tooth Fairy. I love
Tooth
that.
Fairy.
That was great.
Not so Raven.
But yes. Thank God I wasn't the only one who spotted that.
I loved the bit where they essentially revealed themselves and walked off, and Breeze just goes, "Those disguises were fantastic." I had no idea it was them.
Allergic to sleeves was one. What was it? Kevin Owens. And who was the other one? Randy Orton. Randy Orton.
Oh yeah.
That was brilliant. It's just so stupid, but it need a bit of silliness every once in a while, and I really enjoy that.
Yeah.
Fair play
Yeah, I
to them
loved
for
it.
making that their own thing. Because none of the writers have clearly done that. They've done that themselves.
Yeah, well, they did. I mean, I listened to them on Talk Is Jericho. That Talk Is Jericho.
I've not actually heard that one yet.
Yeah, it's well worth a listen. They talk basically. They've got this facility, WWE.com, and no one really uses it. And they were like, "Hey, let's just mess around with it." And it was all of their own doing, and it got over on online, and then it got brought into the show. So yeah, it was just them. Basically, obviously, they were just sat around doing very little, jobbing out occasionally on main event or whatever, and they just thought, yeah, sod it, let's do something. Well, we're not doing anything else, and it's got them over. So fair play to them.
Okay, so now it's the World Heavyweight title match.
Bang in the middle of the card.
Yep, you know.
Right where it should be.
Well, we're talking about faces that haven't been booked very well. God almighty.
Yeah, all the hype Nakamura had and it's just gone.
It's complete. He's like Tajiri at this point. It's,
Might as well be. If he swapped places with old Funaki, I don't think anybody would notice.
Vince has done a cracking job, hasn't he? He's done a cracking job of killing Nakamura. It's just so depressing.
Yeah, straight away. I was so excited when Nakamura got up on the main roster, but now again, he's at like Ziggler levels now. It's just don't care.
I hate the term the artist. I hate that.
Yeah, I don't.
I heard him called the rock star as well.
Yeah,
When was that a thing?
I don't know. But on him being called the artist, all I can think of, and this is pretty much showing my age now, is I can show him. I just remember an old guy from WCW, the artist formerly known as Prince Iakea.
oh yeah.
Yeah, that's all I can think of when they say the artist. Like, what? No.
Jeez.
Have you noticed on his entrance as well? You know, with the bit when he gets to the stairs and then he backs into the barrier and does the cross hand thing. They've got security there now. They had security, so like like normally when the fans are like patting him on the shoulder or whatever and getting
Yeah.
now they've just security, so it just looks crap. They've just got two blokes like who were facing the crowd and just Nakamura just like backing into the barrier. It just looks terrible.
They've neutered him. They've watered down Nakamura.
Yeah, that's exactly what they've done.
Totally.
That's exactly what Adam Bonplay said would happen.
Well, he was
It
right.
really was. I remember it when ages ago when they were first sort of announcing it. They were saying, "Please don't ruin him," and they are
And they have.
quite comfortably at the moment. I mean, he lost clean.
Yeah,
Yeah.
basically.
He lost
Yeah, but-
clean.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean,
What?
the referee got distracted, but
No,
then
it's clean.
but the actual end was him just Jinder just grabbing him and just throwing him up and down. So
Kalas is the most
he
deadly
can't
move
moan.
in this.
It's about as effective as a baby to
Effective
belly.
finisher.
It's just,
Yeah.
oh god, and he lost.
I must admit, I
What?
didn't think they were going to take the belt off Jinder here because they've
No, I
got the
didn't.
tour of India in December.
but shenanigans.
Oh,
Yeah.
dude, see, I
But-
thought they would. I didn't know about that tour in December. So
Yeah, but I hoped and prayed that they'd book Nakamura stronger than they did.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Because where does Nakamura go now? Unless they somehow have him and AJ Styles fight
That's
over
what I'm
number one
thinking.
contendership. That would be amazing. That I will put up with this for. If
Well,
they
Number
go
one
that
contender
way.
match.
I think it will be Nakamura AJ at Mania next year.
That's what I would
think
love.
so. Yeah.
They teased it at Money in the Bank,
That
didn't they?
was
When
all-
they
I
when
loved
they
that.
faced off the other either side of
Yeah.
the
The
ladder.
crowd went mental.
So I think they'll save that for Mania. I
Yeah.
hope they save that for Mania.
They won't.
Yeah, save of Mania. Give them a nice 20-25 minutes, and that could be match of the night.
But then
But
that
the-
means they now have to build
Yes.
Nakamura back up because they've killed all his momentum.
And I
Give
was
it to
going to say,
Rusev.
and who takes the title off Agenda? If you're AJ and Knox, kind of,
Ty Dillinger.
unless AJ takes it off him somehow. But it's like, who's gonna?
Well, possibly at the Rumble after the tour. Maybe.
Yeah, that's
Maybe.
that's what I
Maybe
say.
he loses it there.
Yeah,
Gotta get it off him. Him as world. I made notes because he's so awful. I was thinking of awful wrestlers that were kind of maybe lower mid card guys. That if you gave them the world title, so I had the Warlord, I had Hardcore Holly, I had the Boogeyman, I had Val Venus. I like Val, but
I like Val.
You don't put these guys. You don't give them the world title. And Jinder Mahal is in that group. He is the Warlord. You do not give the Warlord the world title when you've got Hulk Hogan and the Ultimate Warrior and Randy Savage, and you don't do it when you've got AJ Styles, John Cena, whoever, Nakamura. You just don't do it. Oh,
He is part of 3MB.
terrible.
Two members of 3MB are world heavy are champions of some description, and the other one's dressed as a chicken now.
Have you looked at pictures of him when he was in 3MB?
Oh yeah.
The
Oh, yeah.
change.
Oh yeah. He's
Mad
looking real
change.
jacked, baby.
Yeah, he's. I mean, obviously, I don't want to say anything too
No.
controversial.
We're not. No.
But
Preface anything with allegedly, please.
yeah, I mean, it doesn't. Is it natural? I'm not so sure.
This is where I was saying about the New Day earlier. Is what I would do if they're going to keep the title. They put in Woods and Biggie. They could have them playing up on how beat down they actually were, and have Kofi go after Jinder because the two other guys in the New Day, they've said on WWE.com and interviews I've seen that Kofi's the legend of the group, sort of thing. He's believable to go for a world title, and with the New Day, like Big E and Woods could take care of the Singh brothers. You could actually give a little storyline at least that's a bit different in the run up to whatever they're planning for the road to WrestleMania. But that's what I would try and do, just something else.
I
and
can
at
see-
least the New Day could make it interesting.
I can see Kofi hoisted on his shoulders the confetti. I can see that.
Oh, that would be
That
amazing.
would
It'd be
be
great, even if it was only for a week or a
Yeah,
month
who
or whatever.
cares?
He got it.
Yeah, just give him it. He'd be better than Jinder, and he's worked his arse off.
Because I can't see anybody else. I haven't got a clue who they would put unless it's Randy Orton.
Oh.
Because it can't be Nakamura.
Please don't let him go back to that.
Nakamura's got no claim to the.
No.
No.
No, I mean he's got to step away from it now. Surely, I don't see how they can stretch it out.
So
Yeah,
it's only-
it's not going to be him. It's not going to be Kevin Owens for another few months.
No,
No.
So it's only October, so you've got to try and get something till.
Yeah,
Like you say, if it's Royal Rumble, he loses it or whenever. For the next 3 months, he needs something.
unless
And you
they
need
do-
guys that can promo against him or something, because it's murder just now.
Well, I mean, yeah, the promos leading up to it, the build up to it was horrendous, wasn't it? I mean, obviously they had all the kind of racial
Oh God. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
sort of
Godzilla
accent
thing,
stuff,
and,
and yeah,
It's just
it
attitude
was
era
pretty-
attack, wasn't it?
But then Nakamura's just sort of laughing it off, and you just think that's not how I want you to act. You've got to get angry about this stuff. You've got to inject a bit of passion into something. And
Yeah,
it was almost just
problem.
Nakamura
it was almost
needs
just
to not
haha
speak.
sticks and stones, wasn't it?
He,
Sticks
need-
and
he
stones.
needs to not speak.
Ideally,
And
yeah.
I'm serious. It's because don't get me wrong, right? It's not just because the accent, whatever. I can't work out what he's trying to say. I get the words. I know what he's saying, but I can't work out how he's trying to portray what he's trying to do. It just doesn't make sense.
It just gets me so angry. This. Nakamura, he went over Cena, he went over Orton, and now his job's and Jinder's going over everybody. Like, what is going on?
Why is the class booked so strong when it's just awful?
I don't mind a move being booked strong, but he's just a terrible not a terrible worker, but he's just he's a mid card or somebody that would be in a tag team worker. He's not a guy you can watch 20-25 minutes of Jinder Mahal in a match.
He's Billy Gunn.
It's murder. It's
Yeah.
It's Billy Gunn.
Yeah, very much so.
He's quite old school, isn't he? Like slow, kind of methodical, grappling kind of style. But like you said, every match is the same at the moment.
Yeah.
Every match is the same, so he'll just wear someone down a bit. The Sings interfere, whether they,
Shenanigans.
yeah, whether it's a lot or a little bit like it was last night. And
It's
then
like-
Jinder wins, lol.
It's
It
like
really
when
is.
Triple H had his reign of doom and he was having these kind of matches. But at least he had charisma and he's got something to. At least it's Triple H, and he
At
was.
least it was believable.
Yeah. These you can't do these matches and have no connection with the audience or anything. I mean,
No.
Does anyone else love it as well? I really love it. Does anyone else love it when a referee ejects someone from the stadium?
you're out of here!
Oh my god, I love that. I pop for
Yeah.
that every single time.
Got a bit of Little Nate as well.
Gotta love little Nate.
Yes, so we don't even really need to talk about too much of the match because
No, I've moaned enough.
we've been into it enough, But yeah,
Agreed.
where it goes. So, next we have. Oh, no, we don't have what I thought. I thought it was Kevin Owens and Shane, but no, it's
No.
no.
That's like an Owens promo.
It's the
The
Owens
awesome promo.
yes. I love that.
It was really good. He went back to the family thing and everything, which I love. when
I
he does
love that about him.
Yeah, I'm a big Kevin Owens mark. I'm sorry, I always am. He's just brilliant in everything.
Yeah, Kevin Owens does what Mick Foley says you should do as a heel. You should believe what you're saying.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he believes it so much. You can just tell he believes he's in the right, and he's just amazing. This promo was just so good.
Yeah.
Even
perfect.
just the bit where he says, "Yeah, your job's done now.
Just-
I'll take over
Yeah.
from here."
It takes me back to sort of the backstage segments where he's going, "Oh, my head! I've got a headache. Go away." I love it.
It's brilliant.
It's different, and that's what we need sometimes. We need a bit of difference.
Yeah, well, this is what I was going to say earlier. Owens is the only guy I think who actually gets angry about anything. I can't think of too many other people who get angry. Like you were saying earlier about Nakamura not getting angry about all
Yeah.
those insults and stuff. Who
I
else?
guess Corbin.
Corbin a bit, but
Corbin's a dick, so you know.
yeah, but that's it.
He's just angry all the time. Isn't he?
But Owens just gets really angry, unbelievably angry.
I agree with your bad jokes because that's the two worst things WWE does is that with the anger and that not enough people care about the world or universal title. It's like they just ignore the fact that it exists half the time when most of the roster should be mentioning it or getting angry about things on a regular basis. So
Yeah,
you're spot on there.
Like, a little bit of a side note, but why is not everybody on Raw moaning that the world champion is not on Raw every week? They've not got a chance to fight for that.
Exactly.
Oh, that's fair enough.
It's
But anyway,
crazy.
I
Anyway,
never
it's-
thought of that, but yeah, it's fair enough, I suppose.
It's a pinnacle of the sport and
Yeah,
nobody
it's supposed to be the biggest thing there, and all they've got to fight for over on Raw is the IC title or whatever it is over there.
Yeah.
Yes.
But anyway,
That was a sign.
but anyway, that's a side note for next time on next page.
TLC, which is going to be fun. TLC is going to be fun.
Yeah.
So,
Looking forward to that.
We don't
anyway.
moan this much normally. We don't moan.
No.
I'm
Yeah,
having a
nice.
right bitch this episode. I mean,
We're happy, cheerful people, really.
Well, like it was a great pay per view, but what? And another thing.
So we move on to Bobby Roode versus Dolph. I'm angry at everyone. Ziggler.
Yeah.
Yes.
At least it gave Ziggler something to do.
Oh yeah, by all means. You know. So,
Yeah.
He seems to be the man that everyone needs to go through.
Yes.
Like he seems
Yeah,
to be
first
the man that
pay-per-view.
all debutantes
yeah.
need to go through. And I've got no problem with that really. I think he's good in that role.
Definitely. Yeah, he's very good at what he does.
I do think the role should have been reversed. I think Bobby Roode's a heel.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Like I know Glorious is over, and Vince has obviously jumped on the back of that. But
Well, he needs to be an arrogant prick. Because that's what he was in NXT, and it worked. So, yep, I know I'm Glorious. Deal with it. I like that.
But you know, I don't really care about Ziggler anymore.
Well, they killed him ever since the Survivor Series, where he was last man. Or the sole survivor. They killed him.
Oh yeah.
That was it, really. After that, you expected the main event push, and buried, gone.
Nope.
No, they got fired, and then Cena brought back the authority anyway, and that was it.
Yeah.
I think he's perfectly okay in that role to put people over. Like, you know, maybe he's not happy with it personally, but he is one of the best sellers in the company. And,
I was confused with the booking because this is Bobby Roode's first SmackDown pay-per-view match, but you've also gave Ziggler a new sort of gimmick, which has actually got steam in the last couple of SmackDowns, and then you put them together, so inevitably somebody's got to lose. It's just...
Well, no, the booking works in that aspect, because Glorious is so over. And then you got Ziggler who's trying to, you know, he's telling the world, hey, I want to be over, you know, why don't you, give me the attention?
Yeah, I suppose.
So then I'm going to replicate everyone else's, and I like that intro. I like that entrance today, or for Hell in a Cell. I was like, nope, Garth, I like that.
Yeah.
It was different. And,
yeah, it was something different. Yeah, like I've got in my notes, is Ziggler entering straight out of 1942 or whatever.
Yeah, definitely. Bit of silence.
I don't think the crowd liked it much because the crowd were dead throughout the whole match.
It was piss break. It was a piss break, but because everyone knew the KO Shane was going to be huge.
Everyone listened to Glorious and then went off to get a drink and have a piss.
And Ziggler's lost his spark. The Ziggler, when he was going for the world title with Vicky and all that sort of stuff, and he was doing all the press-ups and flashy bumps and everything. I mean, he's kind of...
Well, he was the show-off then, wasn't he? And he's not anymore. I think that gimmick just sort of fell off after...
but now he's
just...
Survivor
Series, I think.
Now he's just generic, good, technical wrestler.
Yes.
That's kind of good-looking and does nothing else.
There were even CM Punk chants during this match.
I was going to mention that.
God.
You know the fans are bored when they start chanting CM Punk.
Yeah, I mean, it's in Detroit as well. It's not even sort of Chicago. So,
No.
It's not too far from Chicago, but still.
Yeah.
But I was reading, these two have been tearing it up on house shows.
I've heard that as well, yeah.
Yeah, this match was just flat. It was just...
It might have been because of the spot on the night, more than anything. I mean,
Maybe.
if it was sort of the Rusev Randy Orton match, you know, or sort of maybe sort of a bit earlier on in the pay-per-view, then yeah, it might have worked. It might have worked a bit better, or even first up, you know, just to sort of get the crowd a bit warmed up, and then you had the ridiculous Usos and New Day match. I don't really get why they put that one on first, but that's just sort of my opinion. I don't really know. So the match itself, perfectly fine. I thought it was a really good match, to be honest. Very technical match.
Yeah, very technical, very just sort of meh. But it was okay. It was okay. I enjoyed bits of it.
Yeah, I mean there was notable Ziggler hitting a famous and doesn't get all of it. By that he got none of it.
None of it.
I love the famous though. I do like that as a move, to be honest with you. But that was not well executed. That particular.
Doesn't get any of it moment there. And yeah, Ziggler trying to do sweet chin music, tuning up the band. I quite like that. That was quite nice. And then you get Robbie Roode's got. I called him Robbie there. Bobby Roode. He's got a really good spine buster.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
A lot of power in that. Looks
Excellent
really,
spine buster.
definitely. Almost up there with Arn. And then, yeah, I kind of like the sort of rollover pins between the two of them. And, yeah, it worked pretty well. I've got no fault with it, to be honest. Unless any of you guys do. Apart from the famous incident, it was perfectly fine.
It was just meh for me. You know, there was no... I've got nothing to complain about as such, but I had nothing to get excited about either.
Yeah.
Like Orton and Rusev, it's a good match, but there's just... it's just not going anywhere.
No, it's not going. No, it's not going anywhere. And if this match had been on SmackDown, you wouldn't have really been that surprised.
Yeah, it was a glorified SmackDown match, wasn't it? Let's be honest.
Yeah, if this match and the Orton Rusev match had been on SmackDown, you'd have been like, oh okay.
Fair enough. Perfectly fine match. Move on.
Yeah.
And I quite like Ziggler hitting the old zigzag afterwards.
Hit his move after,
Yeah, he got a bit pissed off, so fuck you, zigzag. Kind of
Yeah,
like
he
that.
got his heat back. Slightly.
Yeah. So, we now move on to insanity.
The main event.
Of the evening.
Just insanity.
What a match. What a story.
It was about 45 minutes as well. It was a long match as well.
Yeah.
It's the best Hell in a Cell match I can remember for a long time.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Like I know the first one, the first match was on the card was excellent, but obviously the two were very, very different. Like that was innovative and exciting, whereas this was like I was just holding my breath and sort of, you know, I don't want to go too far into the match, but like later on when they're on top of the
It was. Oh,
incredible.
So we'll sort of break it. I'll try and keep this one in chronological order. So the build up to it, because I mean we obviously spoke about that. The whole sort of situation is that Kevin Owens and Shane are having a bit of a Barney, purely because Kevin Owens thinks that Shane is, you know, interfering or something along those lines. I've lost where I was. Fuck.
He thinks that Shane needs the limelight, doesn't he?
Yes,
I think
that was it.
yeah.
Yes.
yeah.
Shane needs a limelight, and Owens is getting screwed, basically.
Yeah, he didn't get enough attention from Daddy when he was younger.
Yeah.
Don't
That's a good line. I
mention
like that one. Yeah. And then we have the Beta McMahon senseless situation.
That was
great.
fantastic, wasn't it? How good was that?
Oh, Vince getting colour. What a segment that was.
The hard way as well. Like,
Yeah.
It's 50-50. Apparently that was apparently he pre-bladed. I think Meltzer said something along those lines where he sort of like slightly under the skin, waiting for it. So all it needed was that one headbutt for it to be like heavy.
He'd put like pre-bladed and put like cream or something to hold it, and as soon as it connects, it would set it off. But who knows?
It's hard as fuck though.
It's Vince. He's crazy. He don't know any match.
Definitely.
He's great.
Yeah. So then we have the match itself. Just one thing about Shane that kind of pisses me off. I don't know whether it's you or whether it's just me or whatever, but Shane's punches.
Oh, worst punches in the business.
There were some potatoes in those as well, to be honest. There was a few of those.
it made me laugh because obviously when the match started, they were out just at the bottom of the ramp, and the crowd are just obviously about 2 feet away.
Yeah.
And he's pulling these punches, and you just think that looks terrible. I can only imagine what that looks like up close.
Was it not Jericho that was in a Survivor Series match with Shane and was telling him, hit me, because his punches were so far away, and then he ended up potatoing him like 3 times, and Jericho was like, for fuck's sake. Just going painful mid-match because he's actually getting beat up trying to get these fake punches. But they're terrible.
Yes, they are. So it all starts outside, and then I think. So I'm reading my notes. Hate Shane's punches, a few potatoes along the way. Kevin Owens shuts the cell door. Shane says nope and boots it open, which I quite like that. So Kevin Owens trying to run away, and then Shane by shutting the door trying to get away from Shane, and then Shane boots it open with that ridiculous size over the top trainer. And then
I love the bit like obviously when Owens took over. Then I love his smack talk, like over by McMahon's family.
Yeah.
Come on, Shane, do it for your kids.
Take a good look at Daddy.
It's just absolutely fantastic, Kevin Owens.
Exactly. And the cannonball into the corner. I do love that. I love a good cannonball. This is before the table one.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So then you got Miss Swanton. Shane takes control of the flurry of shit punches. I'm reading my own notes here. You got good old tornado DDT. I love one of those. I haven't seen those in ages. Also round the back tornado DDT, I think is what it is. Shane hits a shooting star press. Well, hits it. He misses it, and then KO hits a good old splash.
Did you see the Was it a 5-star he went for? And Shane, no, it wasn't. Was it? Was it a moonsault? I can't remember what it was. When Shane lifted his knees and blocked him with his knees.
Yeah, shooting star.
Was it a shooting star? Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, that looked really painful.
Yeah.
I think Shane hurt his knee there, legitimately, in that. Because there was a few times later on he was sort of favouring it.
Exactly. I don't think Shane knows how to convey anger. His facial expression doesn't ever change. It's really weird.
Just always looks out of breath.
Probably lasts like 2 minutes.
Fucked. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, sorry, that just sort of occurred to me after that. I can just see him going, oh, but no, he won't change his face expressions at all. So then we have Kevin Owens tries to hit the pop-up powerbomb, but Shane counters into an armbar and then into triangle, which that was pretty sweet. I did like that.
Yeah, I like that counter.
Yeah, and then Kevin Owens gets free by sort of jamming his foot against the rope, and then Shane hits it. Shane puts the triangle in again, and then reverses it with a good old powerbomb on a step. Good love, good powerbomb.
Yeah, yes. I do. Yeah, good powerbomb on the steps. That did look a little bit painful.
That's gonna knock the wind out of you, surely. Looked like it did anyway. I guess that's just Shane. So then you got Kevin Owens gets up table, and there's a massive pop for that. Huge when he gets the table out.
Yeah, because the crowd was all chanting for it first, and then he got it out.
Yes.
The table, not anything else.
And then Jesus Christ. Sets the table up and then attempts a cannonball from the apron and misses. Oh God.
That looked really good, didn't it? That looked brutal.
That dude.
And then Shane responds by beating him up with a table.
Yeah, I really like that. I
loved that.
I can't remember any time I've seen anyone do that before.
I've never seen that. Fair play.
I love that because he's done that on the fly because that table had to break specifically for that to happen. So that was really good. I like that.
Definitely. So then next we have Shane hitting his patented coast to coast.
Yeah, that was still awesome.
Yes.
I'm glad that Corey Graves brought up the fact that the ref made a rope break.
Yeah, he fucked up.
Yes, I know.
Yes.
I'm glad that Corey Graves called him out on that
awesome.
because it's normally that kind of stuff that gets brushed over. But Corey Graves obviously, I don't know whether he must have been told to, I assume, but he brought up the fact that it was the rope break was bullshit, basically.
Yes.
Yeah, because I think Byron kind of hinted at it as well, and then Corey went all in, kind of explaining why the rope break happened, and the refs got caught up in the match, sort of thing. And
so let's just blame Byron for it.
But the commentary was, I was going to mention, was really good in this match.
Yeah.
It really especially later on when they end up on top and the cell and whatnot.
Yes.
They played up on it fantastically, and all three of them were really, really good at playing on it. And I think that helped.
Definitely. So Shane opens the door and boots Kevin Owens out. Kevin Owens nut slings Shane into the frame. Which I quite like that one.
Yeah, that looked painful. And then the old crowd chant after, "No more kids."
No more kids.
No more kids.
Fair enough. I didn't.
I thought that was hilarious. But also, what I thought was hilarious before that was Shane McMahon trying to get the door open, and he just couldn't do it. He just couldn't do it with the old bolt cutters.
I was really concerned that he wouldn't be able to get it open.
Yeah, he seemed really nervous as well that he couldn't get it open.
Yeah.
Oh, bless him.
I thought that was great.
It was brilliant.
So then I've probably got a bit of a gap here. Because I've skipped from that over to headbutt to Shane onto the announce table and Kevin Owens climbs the cell. I'm pretty sure there's a gap somewhere in there. But either way, we're in that position now, unless you know where I've missed something.
The bit before he climbed the cell, I loved that from got up on to like make it look like he was a way to just jump and put him through the table sort of thing. But then he sells looking up at the cell and to heck with it, I'm going up there. And then when he gets up there, playing that he couldn't do it. He didn't. It's great heel work.
Yeah, he got up there and he looked like, oh shit, this is actually a lot higher than I thought.
Exactly.
Whoops.
Yeah, and then he started shouting at the crowd almost to say, "You wouldn't do it if you were up there." That was
that's
superb.
fantastic because it gets him over as a heel that thinks he's everything and then he can't do it, and it puts over what Shane does as being absolutely mental at the same time. So it's brilliant.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So then next we have Shane climbing up the cell. He's now arisen from his position and decided to start climbing up. and the flurry of punches on the top of the cell. We have the old Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn style punches of each other. Do love that occasionally. When it's done properly, it works well.
On top of a cell, it was epic.
Oh yeah, and we don't have Shane's stupid punches involved in that either, so it's always good.
Some of the stuff they did on top of this, honestly,
I genuinely thought it was. I genuinely thought they had the cell breaking spot going in there.
I was
I
having heart
thought they did.
palpitations.
I could have sworn I saw one bit where the cell was just about to give way or something.
And I thought the same because, well, they played it brilliant because they did it. Nearly every spot was on the same square.
Yeah.
And it was like, you're like, oh my god, here it comes, here it comes. And again, commentary was great at playing on it, and the crowd was the whole time, so it was brilliant. Really well done.
It just worked really well on top there, and that pop-up powerbomb was...
I was about to mention that. That powerbomb cell. If they had done that on the old Hell in a Cell, he would have gone through that, I think.
Yeah.
It was brilliant.
That
and then KO threatens to throw Shane off the top. You can see it coming. He's going, right, I'm going to throw you. And Shane stops and manages to stop it happening. Kevin Owens thinks, I've had enough of this, and starts climbing down. And then Shane...
Cue the booze.
Yes.
When he starts climbing
down. A lot of booze from that. We want death. Death.
Yeah. Kill him.
We want more concussions.
That was the only thing, because he's climbed down. And then, well, as they do this and he falls through the table... But because it's from half the height he was just at, it's kind of like, but it could have been so much more. Even though he's practically still killed himself doing it. But
yeah, that looked like it hurt. It looked like, even for Kevin on that one, that looked like it hurt a lot. So then, yeah, as previously mentioned, we're at the point now. Kevin Owens and Shane are about halfway up. A few sort of hits and whacks from Shane onto Kevin. Kevin then falls backwards and twists to the side to make sure he hits it perfectly, and he hits that table spot on. That is perfect.
They did that spot better than when Rollins and Ambrose did it, and it was so choreographed that you knew it was practically like, right, let's jump. At least Owens kind of, he did it a bit better for that one.
Yes. So then here we go, Death in Shoes.
I genuinely thought that was it. I thought that was the spots done, because obviously all the stuff on top of the cage, I was genuinely I was not panicking, but I was thinking.
Yeah,
something,
I was nervous.
It was you were right on the edge of your seat watching that stuff happen, and then obviously Owens did the spot onto the table from halfway up, and I just thought that was it. I thought, okay, that's going to be it for the spots.
That's enough. Shane's family are in the audience. That's fine.
Good old Shane O'Mac.
I am not paying for that kid's therapy. Jesus Christ. Those kids must be traumatized watching Daddy get destroyed.
Yeah, I think those kids are gonna speak to old Mick Foley's kids when they get a bit older.
Yes.
How do you deal with your daddy getting beat up right in front of you?
Oh dear.
Yeah.
Go and watch Beyond the Mat, son. You'll be fine.
Yeah.
So then Shane drags Kevin Owens onto the other table instead of pinning him, and gives him a headbutt of death onto the table. That was a nasty headbutt as well.
Yeah. Onto
the table. Shane climbs the cell.
I loved that Shane did that instead of just getting the pin, getting the win sort of. After everything that's happened with Vince and everything and the carry on, there's that I want to destroy you sort of thing coming into play.
Yes.
It was
and the fact as well that Shane actually headbutted him sort of went back to the segment with Owens and Vince.
Yeah, I think that was what it was. Yeah.
Yeah, he just sort of went, "All right, this is from a dad." Bang.
The way he positioned Owens on the table as well, I thought he was going to hit it. Because Owens was sort of on one half of the table, which left the other half of the table free. So I kind of thought that maybe he'd hit an elbow or something like, he wouldn't land directly on top of him, but he'd hit an elbow, obviously,
and then be able to
land on the other half of the table.
Yeah.
So I genuinely thought he was going to hit it.
So then, Shane at the top, he does the sort of cross thing that they do before they're going to do things stupid. Jumps off, and lo and behold, a person who we don't know at the time drags Kevin Owens off. I know Paul wanted to mention this, but the commentator's reaction to that was fantastic.
Oh,
What? Who was that? Where did Kevin go?
I genuinely thought it was an EMT that had messed up the spot at that point or something. It was like, but it was the way it happened because it looked like one of those hooded kind of doctors or whatever it was that come around ringside. That he was meant to get up, but the spot had been botched or something. It was brilliant, actually, the way it worked out.
And then the camera pans
and then you
Sami
see,
Zayn.
oh my god!
I just what?
Yeah.
Mind blown. What? How? Why? Who?
Yes.
And just where did he come from? Because I've watched it back since, and I've been sort of trying to look at the corner where Sami Zayn was, where he runs in and gets him out. I don't know where he comes from because none of the crowd pick it up. Because thinking about it, they're obviously looking well up at Shane at the top, which is really clever thinking about it.
It's like a magician's trick, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Unless he came out with all the rest of the EMTs and he was just under that hood all the time.
Or he was under the table.
Maybe under the table, but then again, the fans behind
that's a long time to wait.
might have seen.
And having
Yeah.
to sit underneath Byron Saxton's not a good thing.
Oh
to be
God,
honest.
no.
I think the EMT one's a good shout,
Yeah,
actually.
EMT's a really good shout. Yeah.
You could have blended right
I've just thought of that. I've thought of that off the top of my head because
Fair play.
he could have come there. There was about 10, 12 people there, so I think
perfect.
that's probably it.
Yeah, that must have been it. But then the reaction, because the crowd didn't get it at first either.
No,
the
which
crowd's
is
reaction to
brilliant.
it is perfect because because you can see the camera pan to Sami Zayn. Everyone goes, "What?" at the same time, and then we realise it's Sami Zayn that's dragged Kevin Owens away from this mental situation, and then they're all trying to. Then EMTs are rushing to Shane to deal with him, who's just a fucking mess in the corner.
Yeah.
That was a horrible bump. That is a fucking mess he's in. So then next, Sami Zayn realising that, well, this match is still going, Kevin Owens, you need to pin him, drags Kevin Owens over, pushes refs out of the way, throws Kevin Owens on him, 1, 2, 3, game over.
Emphasising the turn as well, which was really good.
Brilliant. This was just done perfectly, I think.
Is this a turn?
Oh yeah, I think it has to be. Doesn't it?
It's got to be. You see Sami Zayn as he was walking away. He was going, "Oh, what have I done? What have I done?" Like they do when someone turns after a while. So I think it is.
It might be like a slow build to a Mania match between the two of them, possibly. But yeah, I think at this point it's definitely got to be considered a turn. I mean, I think on one hand it kind of makes sense because, you know, SmackDown, the land of opportunity. Well, actually, in Sami Zayn's case, that's bullshit. So it makes sense that he would turn on management. I think they have to tell a pretty good story about why he's helping Kevin Owens out, given their history.
Yeah.
But the turn against management makes sense for me at this stage.
Yeah. I think that's exactly what it's going to be. Sami Zayn, because even before he was on SmackDown, he was saying, "I want to go SmackDown. It's the land of opportunity." He gets there, gets nothing, and then I think maybe the way they can explain him helping Owens is that Owens has been the first guy to stand up to him and to get his hands on a McMahon.
Didn't Owens cut a promo or something similar to that when Zayn first came back, when I SmackDown or something? I've got a vague memory of Kevin saying to Sami, you know, look at your situation, look at me now.
Yeah, I remember that a while ago.
I've seen something like that. It's either on Raw or SmackDown, but I've seen a promo like that.
Well, that's the thing. And Sami can say he's done everything they wanted, Shane and Daniel Bryan, and he's got nothing. He's got absolutely nothing from it, and he's been told it's a land of opportunity and play by the rules and you'll get things. Meanwhile, Baron Corbin's a US champion now, and Jinder with the Singh brothers helping every single match is a world champion, and nothing's done about it. Meanwhile, Sami's just been languishing in the middle of nowhere, but he's played by the rules and played by the book. So he could just say that maybe Owens is actually speaking sense.
Yeah, I think that's what he's going to do because the thing is with Owens, you can sort of see his side of how, or at least how he would think he's being screwed and all that with the whole Shane McMahon thing. So you can maybe have Sami Zayn buy into that.
Does Sami Zayn work as a heel though? Like with his move set and
with Kevin Owens on his side, you don't know, do you?
It's going to be interesting. I'm looking forward to SmackDown on Tuesday.
There'll be a lot more hell of the
yeah.
kicks, that's for sure.
I was just going to say that SmackDown is going to be so interesting. Finally get a Sami Zayn promo on SmackDown.
Definitely. But yeah, it was a perfect way to end the pay-per-view, quite frankly. A lot of questions. I didn't see Talking Smack.
No, I've not.
I didn't.
No.
I saw it, and the only bit in it that I thought was interesting was AJ Styles was at the end, and he spoke about the US title and that he's got his rematch, and he says, I think I'll do that on Tuesday night. So I think that's pretty much going to be what they're going to do based on that. But he also spoke about the Shane McMahon, Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn situation, and him trying to understand why that's happened, and that he would align with Shane McMahon against Kevin Owens in this sort of setup. Which, because Renee said, "Oh, would you go with Shane?" Obviously, you guys have got history, and he started having a go at Kevin Owens. So, which kind of teases to me, if they're going the Survivor Series route or whatever, you could end up with a Shane AJ team against Owens, Sami, and whoever. I'd put down Shane, AJ, Ty, and Orton against Owens, Sami, Corbin, and Rusev, which would be a nice Survivor Series match. But that was just off the top of my head, sort of thing. But it seemed. Yeah, the only thing I kind of noticed was AJ kind of had he's had his moans about, obviously, the way Corbin's just won the title and Ty getting into the match at the last second. And I thought, are they a way to tease like some AJ Owens Zayn kind of stable out of nowhere, which would be incredible. but that's my overbooking mind going crazy. But it's just it plays into it perfect, because he was moaning about the fact that Ty Dillinger got into this match at the last second. It doesn't help him because he's champion. It's another fact that he wasn't expecting. So there's those little seeds that's dropped in there that's very similar to Zayn, very similar to Owens. And if you stick those guys together, that'd be brilliant.
Yeah, I can't disagree with that. I think that'd be brilliant.
I might get on TW in a minute and
yeah, book that. Yeah.
Jeez. So yeah, I think, you know what, we've discussed Hell in a Cell pretty comfortably. I think this would probably be the right time to end it. I think.
Sounds good.
Shuts me up anyway.
No. Honestly, you've covered your future booking very well there. Very good future booking.
I love
it.
You
know what? We'll make sure that, you know, we push for that. That'd be fucking incredible. Can you imagine?
Oh, it'd be crazy.
Indeed. So, I guess all that's left to say is thank you guys so much for listening, and hit subscribe if you're on the YouTube and all that jazz, and follow us all on Twitter. I will put a link to all of that on the screen. You'll be able to see all that. For those of you that don't know them, why don't you all shout out your Twitters one by one, make it all easier for us all.
Right, and I'm Bad Jokes FM. That's pretty much where I am everywhere. That's what I am on YouTube. I'm at Bad Jokes FM on Twitter. And yeah, if you ever want to hit me up, please do. Just send us a message, say hello. And yep, that's all good. That's all the good stuff where you can get me.
Yeah, at Cautious Paul, pretty much the same. Cautious Paul on YouTube, Instagram, etc. So yeah, just the same as Bad Jokes. Hit me up. Any comments, questions, etc. Feel free.
Yeah, CurtyFM on pretty much all social networks. So if I'm not on there, then it's probably a rubbish social network.
And I'm